Hi you guys, it's Lynnea, and today I have a video for Simon Hurley Create featuring his new mini release for October. There are these two fabulous new stamp sets. The large 6x8 is the Surfs Up stamp set, and I love this stamp set because it has those cute little boy and girl characters, and they actually can mix and match with other stamp sets in his line. And then there's also the Wild Waves rubber stamp, and I'll show you what's so fun about that later on. So to start off with, I did some die cutting. I die cut a white panel and then also a piece of craft paper, and I'm going to create a little beach scene here. This background stamp set, the Wild Wave stamp, is so fun because it comes in 3 parts. If you remember the piano recital stamp set from his previous release, where there are those rows of like sheet music and you could split it into 3 different sections, same thing with this awesome Wild Waves stamp set. So you could stamp all 3 of them together and create an awesome background. But I chose just to use one of those waves so that I could stamp that at the bottom of a piece of cardstock. And then my plan is to just trim around it to create a single wave kind of going back into the actual ocean and then with the sandy beach as well. So I stamped it onto the bottom of my stitched die cut rectangle, and I'm just going to do some easy Copic coloring here. For my blues, I'm using, or this is actually like my seafoamy color, I guess you could say. So I'm using BG11, BG13, and BG15. I started with my light, and then I went in with my medium, and then my dark back to my medium, and now I'm going all over it with my light. I'm not really taking care to make sure that the lines are super blended. I wanted this to have like a choppy feeling, like this wave is kind of a huge rough wave, and I wanted it to have that feeling. I didn't want it to be a smooth blend. So I made sure to keep my lines kind of crisp, and I am just following the sketch lines that are already included in the stamp when you stamp it, which makes coloring and shading super easy. So for the actual like watery part of the wave, I'm using B00, B01, and B04. Same thing, just starting with my light. Then I'll go in with my medium, and then here's my dark color, and I'm just using that to shade, and I'm just going to go over these little like hash lines, and then I'll come back in with my light color and color all over that and just blend out that dark color a little bit, but you can still see that definition and that darker blue shade. Once I'm all done coloring, I'm just going to use my scissors and trim around this wave. So now I have a die cut wave, so it has that stitch detail around the bottom and up the sides. So my whole card is going to have that stitch detail. I'm going to save the top portion of this though, and I know the bottom looks a little bit jagged and rough, but we're going to cover that up with the rest of our scene, and this is a great way to just use up everything that you're kind of starting to use rather than throwing away this scrap paper. I'm going to use it as the background for my cloudy sky. So I just use a blending brush and some of the Simon Hurley Create Clear Skies ink and a blending brush, and just kind of came in with blobs of that blue ink. I saw Jennifer McGuire use this technique, and I've used it so many times since. It's an easy way to create a cloudy sky background. So here's the Surfs Up stamp set. I'm only going to be using the surfboards here, and I actually thought at first that these were 2 different surfboards, a thicker one and then a super skinny one. And then as I started stamping, I realized that skinny one is actually meant to be a stripe on the larger surfboard. See how there's all these patterns you can use to fill in? There's this little zigzaggy one, and the floral one is my favorite. And you're going to see me ink it up here with the rosy cheeks. And as I stamp it down in my MISTI, I realized my paper shifted. No big deal. I just flipped my paper over and stamped the same image on the back side. So I'm not even wasting my cardstock here. I'll just ink that up again with my rosy cheeks and then come over it with the outline of that surfboard. I was looking for a way to add my sentiment that wouldn't really interfere with the design because I wanted these stamps to really shine, and I loved how this wave turned out. So I'm going to add a couple sentiments from the Wild Wave stamp set. I'll use my MISTI so I can stamp both of them stacked together. So it says hang loose and ride the wave at the bottom of my card. Here's my finished card design. I just die cut a piece of that craft cardstock with a little wavy hill background, so it looks like some sand. And then I'm going to add these little surfboard images into my sand here. And here's where you can see that what I thought was the skinny surfboard is actually meant to create a striped surfboard. So fun. So you can create all these different patterns out of one basic surfboard stamp. So cool. I'm just going to add all my layers right on top of each other, and then I'll come in with some foam tape for this final wave layer, and that will finish my card. Thank you guys so much for watching. Head over to my blog for some still photos and for a discount code to the Simon Hurley Create shop, and I'll see you later. Bye.